Welcome back, WAMers. We are continuing on with 4.3, odds and probability. We're going to start with mental math and estimation. So we have Sophia runs a summer camp for children at a local community center. At the end of summer, she sends a survey to parents to find out which activities she should offer the next summer. Here are the results. Estimate the odds in favor of a child choosing music. So here we have music, which is 9. And we need to add up the rest of these because if they chose any of the rest, that would not be 9. So we need to go, our answer will be 9 with a ratio to 95. When you add those all up, you get 95. Discuss the ideas, comparing odds and probability. So let's talk about what it means to have probability be 0. If the probability is 0, that means it can never happen. So to write the odds in favor of that outcome happening would be 0 to n, where n is the total of how many times it's happened. Because 0 is the chance that it'll happen, and that means it will happen every other time, or n. How about if the probability is 1? That means that it'll happen every time the possibility occurs. So n is your total, and there's 0 times that it won't happen. So n to 0 would be your odds. The terms odds and probability are used in similar contexts. So here let's determine which would be used for each case, probability or odds. A, the likelihood of a defective product being made on an assembly line. Past tests, 1,568 were correctly made and 32 were defective. So if you write that as odds, you get 32 defective versus 1,568 not defective. You could also write this as 32 over 1,600. Now where does the 1,600 come from? It comes from adding up our two numbers in the odds. So 32 plus 1,568 will give us our total. So our probability is about 2%. So which of these would you use to discuss defect products? You'd probably use percentage to talk about that, so probability would probably be the way to go. For B, we have team A won 15, team B won 8. So for odds, you could write that 15 to 8 if you're talking about team A to team B. For probability, it'd be 15 out of 23, because again, 23 is the total, or 15 plus 8. So approximately 65%. Now in this case, you could probably use either. When you're talking about scores and games and winning and things like that, it's often odds though that is used. C, the likelihood of it snowing on a summer day in Moose Jaw. So here the odds would be written as 0 to 90 if there's approximately 90 days of summer. And the probability of snow would be very, very close to 0. It wouldn't be exactly 0, but it would be very, very close. So here our probability could be written as 0.001%. You'd probably use percentage for this one because it's easier to write a very low percentage than it is to write a very low odd. So then let's have a look at some of these. Which of these are probability and which are odds? The first one here, winning a game, that would be odds. Second one, weather prediction. That would be probability. Effectiveness of medication would also be probability, and so forth. See if you can figure out the rest on your own. College course selection. So you need to go now to the survey results that are posted in the student lounge and create a data table that shows how many people chose each of the numbers given there. So number 1, IA versus interior design. So IA, 3 people so far have chosen IA, 4 people have chosen interior design. So if we're writing that in odds, we'd write 4 to 3 since we're comparing interior design to industrial arts. So 4 chose interior design, 3 chose industrial arts. Let's look at the next one. Now we're choosing small business versus industrial arts. So 4 chose small business, 3 chose IA. We'd write that again as 4 to 3 for small business compared to IA. Have these odds against industrial art changed? Now in this case, no they didn't. but they could have. This is actually a special case where our odds didn't change. If we had higher numbers, they probably would not be the exact same values. Small business and interior design should be the same as what we're guessing for our next prediction. So 3, interior design versus small business. There's 5 small business, 2 interior design. So the odds here would be 2 to 5. So do the odds of interior design versus small business reflect your conclusion in question 2? So we concluded that they would probably be the same 4 to 3 as the other ones were. But they weren't the same. More people chose business than interior design. And so there's not a pattern here forming. Now we're going to choose to compare all 3. So IA is 3, IA is 3, interior design is 1, small business is 3. So if we add up interior design and small business to compare it to the IA, we get 4 to 3. Now, again, this is the same as some of these other ones that we've looked at. 4 to 3 there also. But this is actually a special case. Usually the results would change when given different comparisons. Just with the answers you guys gave, they actually didn't. Rewrite these odds in terms of probabilities. So remember that probability always has the total here on the bottom. So IA, there's 3 people out of 7 that chose IA, so 3 out of 7 would be your probability, 4 out of 7, and so forth. Try the rest of it on your own and compare your answers with those on the board. You then have a homework assignment, page 173, number 5 to 7. Question number 7 you can do here on your student handout. Have a good day.